Morning, this is day 2. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do the same drive but in economy mode as opposed to standard drive. So first thing we need to do is to put it in eco mode once the infotainment is booted up. So mode, eco. Okay, everything's turned green, off we go. So we've got about 43 miles per gallon to beat. Now the way that eco mode works is that it maps the throttle differently, but also when you take your foot off, it dips the clutch. So essentially what you're doing when your foot is not on the accelerator is that you're coasting effectively in neutral. And I'm also told that what mode does when it can is it disables 2 of the cylinders, so you're effectively running on a 2-cylinder engine instead of a 4-cylinder engine. So that all told makes everything more economical. Now we've got similar weather conditions. Weather's slightly warmer this morning. It's 9 degrees as opposed to 3 yesterday. Shouldn't make that much difference. Got a cold start, but let's see how much difference it actually makes. So we're on the main road into Peterborough now, the A605. Now this is normally where I would turn on the adaptive cruise control and just let the car control the speed for the rest of the journey into work. Now to get the full benefit out of the economy mode, I can't do that because it doesn't coast when it's in ACC. So I'm going to leave the cruise control off so I can take my foot off if necessary and go into coast mode. So other than that, there's no difference between the drive into work yesterday and the drive into work today, providing we don't hit any traffic. But we're round about halfway point to work and we've got 40 miles per gallon. A useful feature on the infotainment system, if you're watching the MPG, is to go into green score mode. You can just get to it from vehicle settings. And it kind of gamifies your drive. It gives you a score. So the higher the score, up to 100, is dependent on how economically you're driving. So we've reached the point now just before the long undulating uphill bits, and we're doing 47.5 miles per gallon. So we're kind of 3 or 4 mpg higher than we were yesterday using standard mode with the ACC on so far, but let's see what happens after we get past these bits with the uphill sections. So the first thing I want to do is overtake this truck. Now it makes a big difference in the acceleration. Obviously I could whack it into sport mode and I could floor it, but need to watch the speed because there are average speed cameras on this bit. That's lost a good 1 mpg off my average for the journey, just on that one uphill bit. So I'm going to keep my foot off. Notice how the revs go down to idle when you do that, and we'll coast down this hill and hopefully recover some of it. The problem is now is that I'm speeding up. So I'm speeding now, so I have to brake. And of course when you brake, it puts it back into gear. Got to blip the throttle again to get it to go back into coast mode. So we're in the final leg of the journey now, just this stop section in the queue for the A1 roundabout. 48.1 miles per gallon so far, but let's see what the last half mile does. The engine start-stop cuts in a lot earlier in this mode as well. The good thing with this facelift Superb is the engine start-stop works a lot better than it did on the old car. I was forever having to disable the start-stop feature when I was at busy junctions, because I really didn't want to have the engine stop on me when I was trying to nip out at a roundabout. But for a start, with this system now, it starts a lot more quickly. So I find I never have to disable it for that, and also it's far more intelligent as to when the engine restarts. Right, so when this car drives off, the engine starts straight away. That only happened in the old car when adaptive cruise control was on. But in any situation, as soon as the car in front drives off, the engine restarts, even if you've still got your foot on the brake, which I think is pretty good. And there we go. So our MPG for this drive was 46.9 miles per gallon, as opposed to the 43 that we had yesterday. So driving in economy mode with no major differences to the driving style has added about 4 miles per gallon over my journey of 20 miles or 17 miles. So I don't think that's bad. I guess the question is to whether you can do without the adaptive cruise control for an extra 4 miles per gallon, I guess is up to you, but it's there if you need it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.